Hi guys and welcome to Simply Hike. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Vango Beta 550 XL tent. So let's go through the pack size first. The pack size is 64 centimeters by 22 centimeters by 29 centimeters. The dimensions of the tent are 475 centimeters by 320 centimeters with a max head height of 200 centimeters, and it weighs 10.8 kilograms. So let's take a closer look at the tent now, shall we? I just move these to the side, don't need to see those now. Right, so the tent itself, as you can see, is a nice tunnel tent, so tunnel tent shape, so that's going to give you maximum headroom all the way through the actual tent itself. The fly sheet itself is 3,000 hydrostatic heads, so well, to be fair, spring, summer and early autumn, you'll be absolutely fine in the UK as well as in Europe. Rear on the back part here, you'll see nice ventilation ports. Now they work really well with the guide rope system, so make sure they're nice and taut, and that will open that up as well. That will create nice ventilation for you. It's going to keep you nice and cool on the inside of the tent. Obviously the guide ropes themselves are bright orange, so you can see where they are, and they go really nicely with the actual blue tent as well. So if you're coming back late from the tent itself, you've been to the pub or whatever, you'll be able to see it on your, with your head torch, you'll be able to see where you're going. Right, on the front section of the tent itself, what you'll notice, two things. We've got nice large side panel windows, so that's going to let a lot of natural light in the living space itself, and it is a big living space, you'll see that in a second. And you do have nice ventilation on the front section. Now that is key, you keep that open at all times, just like you keep the back ones open at all times, so that just enables nice cool air around the tent during the day and during the night. It's going to help really reduce condensation. Anyway, let's take a closer look and let's go on the inside, shall we? So what's quite nice about this tent, you get a nice wide and a nice large entry level, or should we say door front, so just crawling in here. And then what that leads you into is a nice high, inside part of the tent. I mean, that's the greatest thing, because it's a tunnel tent, there's no real high point to it. It's gradual all the way through. The only time it gets a bit lower is in the actual living space, but to be fair, you'll be laying down in there, so it doesn't really matter too much. Let's talk about the living space itself. Obviously, you've got two door entrances there, so that's quite nice. You can zip them up. I'll just quickly show you there. You do have vent panels as well on the front there, so if you get a bit hot during the night, you can just unzip that. And again, that works with the ventilation, keeps you nice and cool. But what you can do, if you eventually one day you want to separate the tent itself, like you want to have two separate orders, you can actually use toggle systems that are inbuilt so that you can have two separate areas and split the tent in half as well. And obviously at the moment it doesn't come with that, but as I say, that's an option for the future that you can easily do that with. What you'll also notice in the sleeping areas, they've tried to keep it as simple as possible. All you've got for storage is pretty much these side pockets here, but that's purely for your keys, your mobile phones, stuff that you don't really want to have in your pockets when you're sleeping and you accidentally roll on them. But anyway, let's take a look at the living space itself. So this is the main vent section that I showed you earlier. You need to keep that open at all times. That's just going to keep nice vented air all the way through. It's going to help reduce condensation, especially in the mornings. Well, you notice as well, we do have another side door, and that's going to be amazing. As I say, that gives you lots of options for depending on how you pitch your tent, or for ventilation purposes as well. You can have them both open, and then that's just going to enable cool air to run through the living space. Living space itself is absolutely massive. You'll easily be able to get your table, your chairs, your other storage bits and bobs. As I say, it's probably bigger, the living space is a lot bigger than the actual sleeping area. So the fact that you've got a nice headroom as well just makes the space absolutely massive. And once you've opened up the windows themselves, it's going to bring a lot more light in. It's going to be a lot more beneficial for you. Now, the last thing I'd love to talk to you about is the TBS system that Vango have got in this tent. So obviously this is a tunnel tent, it's safe, it's secure, as long as you've pegged it properly and you've guide roped it properly. But if it does get a bit windy, it can get a bit shaky. So what they do, you just add the TBS system, and what that does, that solidifies, should we say, the actual inner part of the tent. So it actually, just secures it a lot more. So it's going to have a lot better hold if it's really, really windy, and it's going to basically just pin down the tent even more, which is a massive, big plus in my book. If you don't want them up though, all you got to do is roll them up and then tuck it into this pocket right here. So if you've got quite a tall chap or something like that, or you want this space to be a bit more open and you don't want them in there, you can simply unclick them and then store them in there, and away you go. Out of sight, out of mind. Anyway, if you'd like any more information on this tent, please visit our website, simplyhike.co.uk.